Welcome back to another episode of On Second Thought. I'm your host, Jacob Sperlin. I'm joined as always by my friend and partner, Nathan Dill.
Yes, sir.
First off, I just want to say, but from the both of us, we had a slip up at the end of our video. Just editing.
We did it on purpose.
Yeah, we totally did it on purpose.
We did it on purpose to see how many people would watch all the way to the end.
Yeah, so that was just a test run. If you like it, thank you for watching all the way to the end. But anyway, ever since the first episode, Nathan, there's been a lot happening in the sports world. And we got a very busy schedule today, so let's just jump right into it. The Lakers finished off the Nuggets pretty handily in 5 games.
Pretty easy, I would say so.
So Nathan, my first question to you is, what do you think was the biggest reason that the Lakers finished off the Nuggets so handily?
So, as you know, I'm a LeBron James guy all the way. But I got to go with my boy Anthony Davis. He is literally unstoppable. I haven't seen a player play like him with a drive and passion and almost a mission in his mind in a long time. I know Jimmy Butler has the same drive and passion, but the skill level, I think we can both agree, is not there when it comes to Anthony Davis and Jimmy Butler. Anthony Davis is just a better player in general. So Anthony Davis is the deciding factor for the Lakers. And I think that he's going to carry over all the way through this series in the finals because obviously me and you both said Lakers in either 5 or 6, but it definitely wouldn't get to Game 7 with the Nuggets. So now that we move on, we see Miami and the Lakers in the finals, and it's a toss-up. Obviously, the Lakers are winning. I want to say that right now. Guaranteed Lakers win. I think you can agree. Guaranteed. Another ring for LeBron. Anthony Davis ring. I'm fine with it all. But the thing that I am wondering is who do you exactly think is going to get Finals MVP?
Was that a question to me?
Yeah, that's a question to you.
Okay. I said at the beginning of the year that the Lakers are only going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. And what I meant by that was Anthony Davis is the best teammate LeBron's ever had. When you think about the great teammates LeBron's had, you think about Kyrie Irving, you think about Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, etc., Kevin Love, Ray Allen, Shane Battier. But
I don't know who that bum is.
A lot of great role player, great 3-point shooter. Went off in the finals one year. A lot of people will probably disagree with me and say Dwayne Wade's the best teammate LeBron James ever had, and I will agree with that now.
I will be one of those people.
Okay, and I agree with you right now when it comes to the all-time rankings list. D Wade is most definitely above Anthony Davis right now. But my argument to that is, Nathan, at that point in their careers, who's better
in general?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is still a very young player.
Yeah.
He's already solidified.
Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the league right now. Dwayne Wade was arguably not top 10 when LeBron got there.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So my whole thing is, I think AD at this point in LeBron's career, from which he arrived on LeBron's team, is the best teammate he's ever had. So I've always said that Anthony Davis is the best teammate LeBron's ever had. They're only going to go as far as AD takes them, but I don't think that means necessarily that he's the best player on the Lakers. I obviously think LeBron's the best player on the Lakers. And when I say that they're only going to go as far as AD takes them, I mean that LeBron said that the offense is going to run through AD. Yeah. LeBron said that, and because LeBron realizes he is in year 17, and he realizes that AD is only in year, I think, 7 or 8. So he knows that, and AD is an upcoming free agent. He wants to keep AD happy. Yeah. He wants to make sure that AD re-signs. So along with winning a ring, he wants to keep AD happy personally. So I will not be surprised if Anthony Davis comes out winning Finals MVP, because right now I think he's averaging like 33 and 12 or something like that in the finals.
For the finals?
Yeah. So, something around those numbers. They're absolutely astronomical. LeBron had a great game too last night. So right now it's a toss-up just based on stats. Who would I give it to? Obviously, I would give it to LeBron just because of the impact that he has on the floor every night.
Because if you think about it, you look down at what MVP means, most valuable player. LeBron James is the most valuable player in the league every year since he's entered the league.
Yes.
He should have literally 4 more MVPs, regular season MVPs, than what he has right now. So for the finals, I agree. I'm saying it's a toss-up between Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
And I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't think either one is going to be upset if one of them don't get it. You can tell that both of them are very happy playing together.
Yeah, like that leads us into to a topic I know we wanted to discuss earlier. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are true friends on the court and off the court, and that's why they play so well. Their chemistry is there. Mm-hmm. So when you look at LeBron, I know we was talking about LeBron's previous teammates that he's had. AD stacks up as one of the best, if not the best, that LeBron has had. So let's take a look back. I know that you mentioned briefly LeBron James' teammates. So you look at players, you say that Anthony Davis and LeBron James truly wouldn't care who wins Finals MVP, and I agree 100%. So you look at a player that has, so you're saying that there's no toxicity between the two, and I agree.
Yeah.
Right? So when I speak of teammates with toxicity between the two, LeBron James and who comes to your mind with toxicity between the two?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving 100%. And I know that we talked about it a little bit, but did you happen to see what Kyrie Irving said about LeBron James?
Multiple times.
And what's your takeaway?
Well, Kyrie said two very, very disrespectful things.
Outlandish.
And one of them was towards LeBron. So let's stay on the LeBron topic right now, and we'll get to the other one later. Kyrie basically said he was on Kevin Durant's podcast, and they were talking about basically what their expectations are for this season, how excited they are to play together. And I got the sense that they were ego protecting each other. I got the sense that they were only saying certain things because they were so excited to play together, and I get that.
Yeah.
So Kyrie's going to praise KD. KD's going to praise Kyrie. I'm fine with that. They're both really exceptional, great players. But Kyrie said something that really got a lot of people's attention. He said, now I'm paraphrasing this. He said to KD, "For the first time in my life, I have a teammate that in the clutch I can trust." He pretty much said that.
He pretty much said LeBron James is not clutch in the fourth quarter.
And Kyrie, I was on Instagram the other day, and I seen Kyrie's response to that because people automatically thought he meant LeBron, blah blah blah. Kyrie said, why does it always have to be brother against brother? Why does it always have to be me against this guy? He said, if I have a problem with somebody, I'm gonna say their name. Well, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not
at all.
Because if you never had a problem with LeBron James, y'all went to 3 straight finals together. Why would you leave?
Yeah.
Why would you leave?
It's because you knew that you wasn't the man on the team.
Kyrie, you said it yourself, Kyrie. I want to lead my own team, and that's and there's no problem with that. But own it. If you're gonna say something, if you're gonna believe something, you own it. I have no problem with you wanting to lead your own team. Didn't work out, bud, but I have no problem with you leading your own team. I have no problem with you wanting to leave LeBron. But for you to say that you have no... I'm not saying you have a personal problem. I'm saying for you to say you did not mean that towards LeBron. What other great teammate have you had?
Yeah, what other great teammate have you had?
Did you mean it towards Mo Williams, Matthew Dellavedova?
Listen, this is what I'm saying. You said that they went to 3 straight finals, correct?
Together. They went to 4 straight as a team, but 3 of the years Kyrie and LeBron were the 2 main stars. And then the 4th year that they went, Kyrie was on the Celtics. So them 2 just together went to 3 straight.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that 2015, 2016, 2017?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got some stats right here. And in 2015, this is just fourth quarter playoff scoring alone. In 2015, LeBron had 164 points with 40%.
Fourth quarter playoff scoring.
Scoring, okay. 164 points, 40%. That same year, Kyrie only had 55 points, 34%. Now let's move on to the next year, 2016. That was arguably the best finals of all time. I think it is. I've never seen a final series like that in my life. And everyone always praises Kyrie for the clutch shot over Steph Curry, which I agree. Amazing shot.
One of the best shots ever.
But we're going to look at that same playoff series as a whole. LeBron James, 120 points, 48%. Kyrie Irving, 99 points, 42%. Now, that's 2-0 so far for LeBron. So maybe 2017, Kyrie will overtake LeBron. 2017, LeBron, 122 points, 47%. Kyrie Irving, 59 points, 38%. I don't understand what goes through Kyrie's head when he says, for the first time in my life, I have a player who I'm fine with taking the shot in the fourth quarter.
See, this is what I think Kyrie is. This is where I think he's coming from. And I'm not saying I agree with him in any way because I wholeheartedly disagree with him. But this is where I think he's coming from. Kyrie thinks that he made the biggest shot in finals history. I think it's the second biggest shot in finals history to Ray Allen's 3-point shot. Yeah. But that's debatable, whatever. There was a report saying that Kyrie felt that he deserved the respect that LeBron James got from that shot. Great shot, Kyrie. I get it, but that didn't end the game. You went up by 3 points with 50-something seconds to go.
Yeah.
It's a one-possession game. How did the finals end? LeBron James LeBron James cut to the basket. Kyrie hit him. LeBron went to dunk over Draymond, got fouled. LeBron dang near broke his wrist and hit the game-winning free throw with almost a broken wrist. That's how the finals ended. You hit a huge shot, but it's still a one-possession game against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who are two of the best three-point shooters we've ever seen. So that could have easily been another tied-up game. How did the game end? How did the finals end? LeBron James hit the game-winning free throw to go up 2 possessions. So while you hit one of the biggest shots, one of the biggest clutch shots in NBA history, the game did not end that way. LeBron hit the free throw, the key free throw to win the game. So for you to say, Kyrie, that for the first time in your life you have a player who's going to take over in the clutch and you're comfortable with that, you're fine with that, you're not going to frown upon that, that's just idiotic.
Because I will say this too, right? Because LeBron James is the best player that Kyrie Irving's ever played with, so obviously it was directed towards him, whether Kyrie says it was or wasn't. If we look at honorable greats and perhaps even the greatest players in NBA history, such as Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, LeBron James' fourth quarter percentages are higher in go-ahead shots and game-winning shots within 2 minutes left. So how dare Kyrie Irving say LeBron James isn't clutch?
There's a false narrative around LeBron James, and that false narrative is that he's not clutch, that he runs from the game-winning shot, that he's scared, that he's afraid of the moment.
Yeah, that he's pass first.
Yeah. Okay. So we as fans need to redefine clutch. We need to redefine what it means, because whenever we think of that was clutch, we think of a shot. There are so many more elements to the game
than shooting the ball.
Why are there other stats other than points if all that matters in the clutch time is scoring?
Exactly.
Whenever we talk about clutch, what about the block that LeBron James had on Andre Iguodala?
The best block I've ever seen.
Was that clutch?
Yes, 100%.
That was on the defensive end, so why is it clutch?
Yeah, how's it clutch?
Okay.
If just shooting is clutch.
If I drive it in and I pass it out and then you hit the game tying 3.
Both of those are clutch.
That was a clutch pass by me along with a clutch shot by you. When LeBron James is in the timeout and he says to Ty Lue and he points to Kyrie and says, "I want Kyrie to take the shot to win the finals." Was that not a clutch play call by a player? Not even the coach.
Exactly.
Was that not a clutch play call?
Exactly.
So whenever we talk about the word clutch, we need to redefine it. Because if I'm a general manager, and as much as these Jordan fans want, and I'm not knocking on Jordan at all, but as much as these Jordan fans want to say this, they're going to want to say they disagree with me. They don't disagree with me at heart. If you are a general manager, Nathan, and you got a choice between 2 great players, and then somebody says to you, one of those players will say, "Give me the ball and get out of my way and let me shoot it. I don't care if there's 4 people on me, I'm shooting it."
And you have one player.
And you have a player that's going to say, "I'm going to make the best play for my team, whether that's me driving it, me shooting it, me kicking it out, me dumping it down." What player are you going to take?
The team player.
And every single general manager will take that. I don't care what anybody says.
Everyone always says that, the drive to play basketball is along the lines of, "Give me the ball, I want the ball."
That's bad
fine.
basketball.
That's fine. You can have that attitude as long as you know that not every opportunity is for you.
That's bad basketball. It's terrible basketball. And if you look at a bunch of teammates that play, I'm not going to call any players out by names. I don't want to knock on any players. Players who had that mindset,
it doesn't work out.
A lot of the teammates did not have fun playing with those guys.
Screw that. I'll say it. Kyrie Irving on the Celtics is a bum. Kyrie Irving, when he was on the Cavs with LeBron, arguably was one of my favorite players in the league. Kyrie Irving leaves the Cavs, goes to the Celtics, turns into a bum. The Celtics didn't want him. Kyrie Irving leaves the Celtics, goes to the Nets. Look at what the Celtics did. Eastern Conference Finals.
They got rid of Kyrie for an off-brand version of Kyrie in skill.
Yeah,
but he was 10 times the player in the locker room, and look how far that goes.
Because chemistry overtakes just skill with toxicity.
Yep.
And I will say this, LeBron James wasn't asked the general question about what happened with Kyrie, what he thinks about the Kyrie situation, but he was asked along the lines of how come him and AD's chemistry is so well together. He said, and I quote, "We're not jealous of one another. I believe jealousy creeps in a lot, especially with alpha males, and that's the absolute contrary of what we are." which is sort of a sneak diss back to Kyrie. So what I'm saying is LeBron knows that there was toxicity with Kyrie, and he's fine with it. He's moved past it. He plays with AD now, and there's no jealousy between the two. So that's why I think that AD and LeBron flourish so well, is because even AD admitted to it. He said when you've got two guys who are very selfless and want to win just as bad as both of us want to win, the rest of it goes away and takes care of itself.
Yeah, so I was watching an episode of First Take, and they were discussing what we're discussing now. And I'm going to agree with Max Kellerman on something. He said, I want the timestamp on that comment that LeBron said that, what you just quoted. Yeah. Because if he said that after Kyrie made those comments, then that shows that LeBron clapped back at him.
Yeah.
Right? That shows, and that helps us.
Because like I said,
that helps us.
It's not a direct comeback to Kyrie. It could be seen as a sneak diss.
Yeah. So I want the timestamp on that. That would be great.
I know it was said in the same day. I just don't know whether it was said after or before.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're on the topic of Kyrie Irving and his comments that he made on the podcast, Kyrie also made another very
bold,
very very bold comment, and it was about the hiring of Steve Nash.
Which I know that we've had some disagreements with the hiring of Steve Nash.
And we talked about it last episode. I think from an X's and O's standpoint, it was a great hiring. I think Steve Nash is one of the smartest players of all time.
But whether regardless of Steve Nash as being a smart player or not, doesn't change the fact that the Nets are obviously in a rebuilding stage. They're trying to make something of themselves, because throughout the past years, the Nets have been
mediocre.
Honestly a laughing stock, if we can say that. So right now the Nets need to prove something, and they need to have a fire underneath of them to play well. And regardless of how smart Steve Nash is, I don't know if Steve Nash is a motivator like that. I know we talked upon that. Regardless of that, Steve Nash could potentially be a great coach, but he could potentially be a bust.
Yeah. Okay. So we agree on that. From an X's and O's standpoint, great hiring, but when it comes to just being a motivator, getting a team ready for a huge playoff series, huge game, we're not so sure we're going to have to see. But either way, he's the head coach. Either way, he signed his name on the dotted line. He is the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And Kyrie Irving, I don't think he was the biggest fan of that. There was a report saying that Kyrie and KD signed off on Steve Nash, saying they agreed with it, they were ready for it, but actions speak louder than words. And Kyrie himself on the podcast said, I feel like we don't have a head coach. I feel like me or you, KD, could be the head coach. And here's my problem with that, Nathan. Michael Jordan didn't win a single title until Phil Jackson was his coach.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant and Shaq needed Phil Jackson. You look at the greatest players of all time.
They have to have a great coach to go along with them, usually.
With the exception of LeBron. LeBron's the only player that's never had a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah,
maybe Eric
with Ty Lue,
maybe Eric Spoelstra, but at the time Eric Spoelstra wasn't a great coach. He was a new coach. So you look at Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, all these great coaches. All of the great players who have won multiple titles had a great coach. So for Kyrie to say that, it's just idiotic to me. I don't get where Kyrie's coming from. Who's going to make the adjustments? Is it going to be you and KD? No, because we all know that you and KD have that mentality of just give me the ball. Give me the ball. You need a coach. Because I feel like there's going to be a narrative that started that, these are professionals, they can do whatever they want, they get paid millions to play the sport. I agree with that. They know what they're doing, but you need a coach. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these coaches know more about the game than you do, Kyrie. A lot of these coaches know more about the game than you do. And I will argue 10 times out of 10 that Steve Nash knows more about the game than you do.
Yeah.
But from a motivation standpoint, yeah, me and Nathan agree. That's suspect. We're not 100%. I'm rooting for Steve Nash. I love Steve Nash. Loved him as a player. But just for Kyrie to say that and for KD to agree with him, I think that's – I would love to be at the first day of practice after Steve Nash finds this out. If I'm Steve Nash, I'm lighting a fire under them like I've never lit a fire under somebody before.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know right off the top, very first practice, I am your coach and you're going to listen to me, whether you like it or not. You don't like it, you can ask for a trade.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my thoughts on it. Nathan, what's your thoughts?
I mean, in the same way, obviously, that respect goes both ways, and regardless who your head coach is, you still need to respect him. You don't necessarily need to like him, but you need to respect him. And to come publicly and say something outlandish towards your head coach obviously creates a team toxicity, which I'm not surprised Kyrie did this in the least bit, because over and over he's proved that he's a toxic teammate, a toxic player. So I think honestly that Kyrie is just keeping up with his reputation. Any chance that he sees that he can get to be a toxic team player, then he will do. And if that's outing your head coach as, I don't think he's even there, I think me and Kevin could do the same thing, then obviously I'm not surprised. I disagree completely, because he's your head coach. Regardless of how you feel about him, you don't need to go public with it. People who go public with their own personal opinions, I don't see any point in that. But Kyrie is proven over and over to do it over and over.
Yeah, so very, very immature, very not thought out at all. But so that's the end of that discussion. Let's switch over to the NFL real quick. The only NFL topic of the day. Well, first off, we got every pick right.
Every single pick.
Just want to point that out there.
The only thing that we got wrong was the Chiefs blowout versus, I think it was the Chargers.
Yeah.
Which the Chiefs only beat them by a couple points.
In overtime. Yeah.
But regardless, we still picked the Chiefs to win.
And just real quick, because we were expecting Tyrod Taylor to be the starter. The trainers punctured his lung before the game. And a rookie quarterback came in and just played out of his mind first game. So we wasn't expecting that. But either way, we got every pick right. So, that just shows that we know what we're talking about. Give us another subscribe. Chiefs and Ravens. That was the game of the week for this week.
Big matchup. Yep.
Two of the last 2 years MVPs. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the future of the league. I think we both agree probably two of the top 2 to 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
Chiefs dominated them.
Chiefs did dominate.
Patrick Mahomes had a great game. Lamar Jackson, not so much. Lamar Jackson, after the game, said that the Chiefs are the Ravens' kryptonite.
I think good teams would be the Ravens' kryptonite.
So, Nathan, what's your thoughts on Lamar Jackson's comments, and what are your thoughts on the Ravens' ceiling and Lamar Jackson in particular, his ceiling?
So, in regards to the kryptonite, I don't know necessarily, because when you say the Chiefs are the Ravens' kryptonites, it literally means that there's only one team that is so hard to beat, right? That's our kryptonite. That's our weakness. The Chiefs is our weakness. He's disregarding every other team in the league by pointing out, the Chiefs are our only weakness, because that's what kryptonite means. So I look at that and I disagree. Patrick Mahomes had 385 yards while Lamar had 97.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Chiefs are the Ravens' kryptonite. I think that Lamar didn't do good and Patty did. It's as simple as that. I think that's why I said that good teams may be the Ravens' kryptonite, along with every other team in the NFL. If a team is better than you, they are the prospect to win. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. And the Chiefs have proved, especially now, that they are better than the Ravens, regardless of who plays. So I don't agree with Lamar going, the Chiefs are our kryptonite, acting like the Chiefs are the only team that can beat the Ravens. So the Chiefs' ceiling, I know that you asked me about that. It's the Super Bowl. That's their ceiling this season. I see them going to the Super Bowl. I see another team that could potentially go to the Super Bowl is the Seahawks. I know the Seahawks are doing well. I know me and you talked about it earlier. You said something along the lines as the Seahawks have earned the most points and given up the least points out of any team in the NFL. So that does put the Seahawks at number 1 best team in the NFL. But obviously the Chiefs are right there too because they're 3-0 as well.
Packers.
The Packers are 3-0. The Packers are an outstanding team. Where do I see the Ravens ceiling? I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. I don't.
And one of the reasons that I think you might say that is because they have to get by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Well, Nathan, just to get a little disagreement going, I do think that the Chiefs are the Ravens' kryptonite, and here's why. The Ravens are 0-3 versus the Chiefs since Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes have both faced off against each other. Mm-hmm. They're 21-3 against the rest of the league.
So the only 3 losses are the
Chiefs? No. They've had Lamar Jackson has had 6 regular season losses in his career since he's been a starter. 50% of them, 3 of them, 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes. Only 3 other losses to the rest of the teams in the league.
So I get what you're saying. Half of his losses in the regular season
have came to Patrick Mahomes.
Do you know the other 3 losses off the top?
Not off the top of my head.
So are we willing to say that the other 3 losses aren't from one team in particular?
Probably.
So like what I'm saying is like 3 losses come from the Chiefs, 3 losses come from one other team.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're willing to say that I don't think that the other 3 losses come from one other team in general.
Yeah.
Even if they did come from one other team in general, that would mean that 2 teams are guaranteed to beat the Ravens, not just the Chiefs. That's why I'm saying the Chiefs aren't their kryptonite. But now we know that they have 6 losses, 3 which come from the Chiefs, and 3 I don't know right off the top of my head. So I'm saying there's more teams that beat the Ravens in the regular season games than just the Chiefs. That's why I'm saying the Chiefs aren't their kryptonite. It's just teams that are better than them. Obviously, Lamar leading the Ravens are a top team. I think we can all say that. The Ravens are outstanding as long as Lamar has been a quarterback.
Lamar, I'm a huge fan of Lamar. I've defended Lamar since his days at Louisville. I always said he was going to be a great quarterback in the league, and I think he is. Obviously with an MVP already. But if I'm being honest, if I have to, analyze it here, Lamar's got to get better at throwing the ball. Lamar, only 97 passing yards against the biggest regular season game of the year. You got to be better than that. I think Lamar's problem is every defense that goes up against him says make him throw the ball.
Yeah.
Don't let him get out of the pocket. Don't let him extend plays, and that's a problem. Lamar needs to
work on his passing.
Lamar needs to be a better pocket passer. He needs to realize, Nathan, that whenever your offensive line has a bad possession and the defensive line is crashing in on you, Lamar tends to slip out and just automatically go for the run, automatically try to extend the play outside. Sometimes you got to step up.
Yeah, sometimes you got to step up and pass it.
Stay poised, step up and pass it. And I feel like once Lamar takes that next hump, that next jump over the hurdle,
then he will become a quarterback that we know he can.
Yeah, once it's hard to. I feel like he's the Giannis Antetokounmpo of the NFL.
Yeah.
I feel like Giannis needs to get a jump shot. Giannis needs to expand his game. So does Lamar.
Maybe even leave the Bucks.
That's another topic we might get into. I'm glad you brought that up. So,
but yeah, let's stick with the Lamar thing. See, when Lamar says the Chiefs are kryptonite, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I get the vibe that he's saying the Chiefs' offense simply beat our offense. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Out of 9 third down plays, the Ravens only converted 3. Out of 13 third down plays, the Chiefs converted 10. The defense isn't there for the Ravens, and the defense is there for the Chiefs.
And that's something that's very surprising because the Chiefs are known to be all offense, and the Ravens are known to be very balanced offensively and defensively. So that's a very interesting stat you brought up.
Along with the Chiefs' defense, do you know how many sacks the Chiefs' defense had? 4. The Ravens' defense had 0 all game.
It's very surprising that you bring that up because it's just always been Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is the new Brady Belichick.
Exactly.
It's the new powerhouse offense.
That's one thing that we overlook because the Chiefs' offense is so good because we have a player like Patrick Mahomes leading the offense that we overlook their defense entirely. They completely stopped the Ravens.
Yeah.
There was 158 total rushing yards when the Ravens rely on rushing the whole entire game.
Yeah. So final comments. We agree that the Chiefs' ceiling obviously is winning the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And I think the Ravens' ceiling, where could they what's their and ceiling means what's the absolute best thing they could do this year. I think they could get to the Super Bowl. I believe that they could that they could beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I believe if there's any team in the league that could do it in the AFC, I think it's the Ravens. So I think their ceiling is the Super Bowl, but I think realistically, I think they'll get to the AFC Championship game. They'll play Patrick Mahomes. I think it'll be a great game because of the atmosphere and the stakes that are set up, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to outduel Lamar Jackson once again. So, Nathan, you brought something to my attention, the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And we didn't have this down in our pregame notes, but since you brought that up, I want to talk about that a little bit. Giannis is a free agent.
I will say this over and over again. Giannis Antetokounmpo, get off your high horse. You're not morally better than anyone in the league because you want to stay with the Bucks. I don't know who you think you are. It's not 1960s where players think, "Oh, you left a team, you're unloyal." That's not it at all. Players leave to have better opportunities. You have no opportunity in Milwaukee. Get out of Milwaukee if you want to do anything in your career. 2-time MVP, I don't care. You will not win a finals ever in Milwaukee.
So, while you say that, what team presents the best chance for him, realistically?
The Golden State Warriors. 100% the Golden State Warriors. You give Steph Curry a vacation, right? You give him a vacation. Obviously, the Warriors didn't do anything this season. You give the vacation to Steph Curry, the most lethal shooter in all of NBA history. And I'll say it here first. He is the best shooter in NBA history. I don't want to hear any conversation about Ray Allen, Larry Bird. Steph Curry is the best shooter in NBA history. You watch him play, you cannot say otherwise. You put Giannis and Steph on the same team, they will win the finals.
So, here's a little debate. Giannis goes to the Warriors, theoretically. Do you see them being better than the KD Warriors with Steph and Clay?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because, like I said, Giannis has such a mentality of being a team player. That's what's holding him back from leaving Milwaukee. If he could just overcome that just a little bit to where he would be okay with leaving his home team, his career team, and move to another team, he would be devoted to that team entirely. Because right now we see that he's so devoted to Milwaukee. If he could overcome that just by one step and move teams, I am positive that he would be devoted to the next team that he goes on. Kevin Durant is not devoted to teams, and we know that for a fact. Whether it goes from OKC breaking up because of toxicity, the Warriors breaking up because of toxicity, and I'm willing to say the same thing for the Nets. Kyrie and Kevin will not work out. I do not think so.
So you're saying right now they will not win a finals, and you think it'll have a terrible ending?
I'm not saying that they won't win a finals because the Warriors won a final with KD, right? So the skill is there. I'm not saying that they will win a finals, but I'm not saying it's impossible for them to because the skill is there. But regardless, the Warriors with Kevin Durant won the finals, and it still ended because of toxicity. So I see the same thing happening in the Nets. Giannis is not a toxic player at all. He is a team player through and through, and that's why he wants to stay in Milwaukee so much. But he has to understand that there is no future for him in Milwaukee. He says over and over, like when he won his first MVP last year, he said, "Don't call me an MVP until I win a ring." Now he won his second one. He goes, "Don't call me a 2-time MVP until I win a ring." You will not win a ring. You will not in Milwaukee.
And what's the reason for that? Because a lot of people say the Milwaukee Bucks are very talented, and they are. The Bucks built that team around Giannis, but the management didn't do a good job of that. Giannis, if you watch Giannis play, what's the one thing that we criticize him for? He doesn't have an outside game. He doesn't have a jump shot.
He tries to jump.
He drives in and lays it up.
Exactly.
Post move, dunk, whatever. You need shooters. Because what did the Miami Heat do? They built a wall. They had 3 players at the basket all the time, forced Giannis to kick it out, and they were saying to the other four players on the floor, "We don't trust that you can beat us by hitting 3-point shots."
And they're 100% right. And look what happened.
Now imagine Giannis
with a shooter like Steph Curry.
On the Golden State Warriors. He drives in. You got Steph Curry in one corner and Klay Thompson in the other corner.
And if Klay and Steph are guarded, that leaves enough room for Giannis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If Giannis is guarded, that leaves enough for one of them to shoot.
And Steph and Klay are very unselfish. They don't care about numbers. If Steph and Klay, because you're not gonna sag off of them. You're not gonna dare them to shoot. They're the two players in the league that you would not sag off on. So there's no wall that could be built. So Giannis's numbers, his stats are going to be boosted because it's just going to be one-on-one, and not a lot of players can guard Giannis one-on-one.
If anyone.
Yeah, if anyone can. Maybe AD, but maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, for me, I'm going to have to agree with you on this. I think realistically it's the Warriors. Obviously, as a Laker fan, I'll accept him if he was to come in because the Lakers have the cap room. Yeah, all they got to do is get rid of 2 bums, and they would have the cap room for him. So I'll accept him. But I don't know. Like, realistically, I would say that I would definitely agree with Nathan on the Golden State Warriors. So, staying on with the NBA, as we know, Lakers are up 2-0 in the NBA Finals against the Heat. Both games have been very non-competitive, to say the least.
Very non-competitive.
First game, it was an absolute blowout. Second game,
it was a little closer, still a 10-point lead.
Lakers won by 10, but anyone who watched that game will say that it felt like a 30-point game, while it was only a 12 to 14, 10-point range.
So dominant throughout the entire
They just got out to a 10-point lead, 12-point lead, kept it.
And I will say this. I was checking stats halftime of game 2. LeBron had 9 points, I believe, coming into the halftime. It's like around 7 assists, 8 rebounds. So he was right there around a triple-double. Obviously, a 10-point triple-double doesn't sound that good, but he was still right there around a triple-double. Looking in at the end of the game, he went from 9 points to 33 points.
Yep. He had 33 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. And you look at a player like LeBron, he can impact the game in much more ways than just scoring, just rebounding, just assisting the ball. You look at Anthony Davis, and this is why I think personally that LeBron should win and is going to win Finals MVP. Anthony Davis' success is because of LeBron. LeBron is setting him up in the perfect scenarios. He's getting AD mismatches in the post. He's literally being an on-court coach.
Keeping high assist to AD.
He goes out of his way at the beginning of games to get AD the ball. He's going out of his way because LeBron.
The Heat can't guard AD.
Yeah, LeBron knows that any time he wants to drive to the basket and get a layup, he can. Get fouled, he can. But he's going out of his way to get AD the ball, get him in a groove, get him going. So that just shows the unselfishness of LeBron, and it shows his willingness to win and winning over stats and that mentality. So let's go straight into it with our prediction based on what we've seen so far. Lakers are up 2-0. Nathan, what's your finals prediction and why?
So I know that obviously we talk about quarantine and COVID a lot. My finals prediction is a sweep. And the reason why I say this is because there's no logical reason to why the Lakers wouldn't keep up with what they're doing. If it went to different courts, then I could see maybe the Heat getting one game.
Because at this rate, in a normal season, they would be going to Miami to play 2 games in Miami.
Yeah, that was what I would be worried about, because obviously it's across the entire country. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have any Lakers fan in Miami. You would have all Miami fans. And that would give Miami a boost.
And you would have LeBron returning to Miami to play his former team. The crowd would be insane.
Yeah, getting booed over and over. But now, since we don't have home court advantage, I do see the Lakers winning in 4, because there's no way that the atmosphere will change between games 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'll be the same atmosphere, and the Lakers have been doing well. I don't see why they wouldn't continue to do well. I see the Lakers winning in 4.
Well, listen, I hear everything you said, and I agree for the most part. But I got the Lakers in 5. I just got so much respect for the coaching of Eric Spoelstra. I got so much respect for the heart and the scrappiness and the passion for which the Heat play. I hope you're right. I hope the Lakers handle business and they get a sweep.
I'm so confident that I'm willing to put money on it if you want to put some money on it.
I'm not going to put money on it because I think yours is a little bit more realistic than mine.
I get what you're saying. Obviously, we love to respect players. But if the Charlotte Hornets wanted to play as hard as they could, would they beat the Lakers? Would they beat an average team? No, because the Charlotte Hornets are bums.
But the Heat aren't. That's my thing.
The Heat aren't bums. You're right.
They got Jimmy Butler, a bona fide star.
Okay, they got Jimmy Butler. Now, who's their other superstar?
Bam.
Okay, yep. Bam was out game 2.
And he's
potentially out for game 3. Okay, so their 1 and 2 superstars are Jimmy Butler and Bam. Okay, Lakers 1 and 2 superstars are LeBron and Anthony Davis. 2 out of the top 5 players in the league. Jimmy Butler is not a top 5 player in the league.
No, he's not. He's not
Bam
a top 10.
is in the top 10. Bam is in the top 15.
I would put him.
No, Bam has been playing out of his mind, but consistently, Bam is not a top 15 player. So you take out of top 5 players, 2 of them are on the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Out of top 10 players, maybe 1 of them's on the Heat.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm hearing everything you're saying, not disagreeing with you anyway. I just got so much respect for what the Heat were able to accomplish. I got so much love for Eric Spoelstra, everything that they've accomplished so far. I just see the Lakers. I see the Heat getting one game. I think, to me, that's the most realistic thing. But I hope you're right. I hope the Lakers easily pull this off. I hope it's a sweep. So let's get into our debate topic today, Nathan, to finish it off. Actually, no. We got one more topic to talk about.
I will say this real quick about, the Heat will win one game because I have so much respect. Facing the Giants is a movie. Stuff like that only happens in the movies. This isn't Miracle. This isn't a Disney remake. This is the Lakers versus the Heat. You get down straight to it. Respect or no respect. I'm going to respect the Heat for being good losers instead of sore losers, and that's what's going to happen within 2 games.
Okay. So, last topic before we get into our debate topic. Obviously, the Clippers season ended abruptly. It ended short.
Very quickly compared to what the Clippers were expected.
So, along with that, the first names that come to your mind to blame is Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Doc Rivers. Mm-hmm. So, shortly after they got eliminated by the Nuggets, giving up a 3-1 lead, they fired Doc Rivers, arguably the best coach in the league, definitely a top 3, top 4 coach in the league. They fired him and sent him home, sent him packing.
The Clippers are wrong for that.
Nathan, your thoughts?
It's not Doc Rivers' fault because he's consistently proved how good of a coach he is. The Clippers are in the entirety wrong here. Doc Rivers is on not the level, but close to the level as Pop.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers and Pop, when you look at the 2 coaches, like the best coaches in the NBA, longest lasting coaches in the NBA, it's 2. Could you imagine what would happen if the Spurs fired Pop?
Outrage.
Uproar.
Yeah.
It would be like rioting in the streets.
Yeah.
Almost like what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
But for Pop.
So this is my thing about it. You're up 3-1 on a Nuggets team who just came back from a 3-1 lead against the Utah Jazz. Your 2 superstars got to put that game away.
And didn't they score only like 12 and 13 points?
Game 7 of that series, in a Game 7, if you look back in the history of basketball, the history of NBA, in a Game 7, it comes down to who's your best player. In a Game 7, it comes down to who is going to take over and say, you're not beating me.
Especially when you have 2 potentially best players.
So, Kawhi Leonard scored 14 points for the whole game. The whole game. Okay? That's not even the best part. Scored 2 points in the second half. Can you take a guess on how many points he scored in the fourth quarter, Nathan?
0?
0 points in the fourth quarter of a Game 7. The game in all of sports that we all live for as fans. Game 7. The game that every one of us fans look forward the most to because it's supposed to be hectic. It's supposed to be balls to the wall.
Excitement. No.
And the best player scores 0 points in the fourth quarter. And you're going to fire the coach.
But no. You know, hot take? I'm with the Clippers here. If Kawhi scores 0 points in the fourth quarter, I've only got Doc Rivers to blame. Not my supposedly best player. It's definitely Doc Rivers' fault.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know, that's sarcasm.
Doc Rivers, time and tested as a great coach. Why fire him and why not trade Kawhi? Not even trade. Why not just get pissed at him? He's a bum in the fourth quarter on Game 7. A bum. It's like Kawhi's supposed to be such a good player. Scores 0 points. What a bum. But no, it's Doc Rivers' fault. My bad.
And as Lakers fans, you can tell that we're, you can't see us, but we're laughing. We're smiling because this is hysterical to us.
A dream come true.
I'm actually very happy they got rid of Doc Rivers because that's just less of a worry now. All we got to worry about is the bum that can't score in the fourth quarter, the robot himself that doesn't show any emotions. Yeah, so I'm happy with it.
Who are they going to hire? Some other NBA veteran?
I'm sure. I'm sure that they'll move up Ty Lue to their head coach because he was the assistant coach to Doc Rivers. I'm sure they'll probably move him.
No, that's worked out so well. In the finals, Ty Lue in the finals.
Yeah, he's won in the.
J.R. Smith grabs the ball, runs away. Ty Lue decides not to call a timeout. Yeah, no. Actually, I take it back. Doc Rivers, you're a bum. Worst coach I've ever seen. Ty Lue, you honestly will be such a better coach.
Yeah.
You will lead players
you
like
might.
Kawhi
You might get
0
him
points.
Yeah.
Honestly, my hot take for next season, if Ty Lue's the coach, I see Kawhi's Game 7 stats going up 400% from 0 to 4 points.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Ty Lue might get him to the Western Conference Finals just to get swept by the Lakers. So
Ty Lue will take him all the way there with the talent just for Kawhi and Paul George to score a combined 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So going back, on a serious note, the NBA is ran by superstars.
No, wait. You know what we didn't even talk about? Doc Rivers to the Sixers.
No, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about. We're going to get to that. Superstars run this league. It's not like the NFL. It's not like the MLB. Superstars run the league.
Have a majority of the say-so because it's honestly almost their team with just guidance by the coaches.
When Kawhi signed to the Clippers, he said, "I will sign if you get me Paul George." They got Paul George.
Okay.
So obviously the front office came to Kawhi. Obviously. They're not going to fire their head coach without asking Kawhi. They're not. And for Kawhi to agree with them and say, get rid of him, that's just horrible.
A bum.
Yeah.
I know Kawhi doesn't have emotion when he walks around like a robot, but still, he's got to have some common sense, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, after I think it was right after Game 7, reporters asked him, what do the Clippers need to be better at? Kawhi said, basketball IQ.
Maybe common sense IQ.
Basketball IQ doesn't make you lose by 20 points in a Game 7 where you're supposed to be the best player, bud.
Basketball IQ doesn't make you score 0 points in the fourth quarter.
That's not basketball IQ. Basketball IQ is not you shooting 5% from the field the whole game. That's not basketball IQ. That's you being a bum. That's you being overrated. Because everyone says Kawhi Leonard's a top 3 player on planet Earth. No, he's not.
I've got to disagree now.
No, he's not.
And I will say the only top 3 that Kawhi is fitting in right now is dumbest players in the league for getting rid of Doc Rivers because you scored 0 points.
Kawhi is a 2-time Finals MVP. He's got 2 rings to his name, so I can see if you look from afar, he's got a resume. But where did he win those finals? San Antonio Spurs. He was the 4th best player on the team. He got the Finals MVP for, quote-unquote, locking up LeBron when LeBron averaged 28, 8, and 8 for that series.
That doesn't sound like locking up to me.
So he got a Finals MVP for that. Then he got a Finals MVP in Toronto where he did play very good.
And he was the best player on his team by far.
very, very good. But what were the expectations for the Toronto Raptors? Absolutely nothing. It was a miracle run. And they played a Warriors team without Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson for that series because Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, Klay Thompson tore his ACL. So a Steph Curry-led team by himself is not going to beat a Kawhi Leonard-led team by himself.
And that's why, I have to completely agree, that's why Kawhi Leonard leaves the team he just won the Finals MVP on the next season because he knew that it was a Disney remake.
Yeah.
It was Miracle.
Yeah.
It was facing the Giants. Mm-hmm. It was Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. So now the first year in his whole entire career, he's the man. There is expectations. The Clippers are the best team in the West, the best team in LA. It's Kawhi town now.
Oh, baby.
That's what Kawhi said. First game of the year, there was a commercial that aired dropping his orthopedic shoes, his flea market 7s.
You see the NB on the side.
Yeah, New Balance. What kind of basketball player wears New Balances? Bum.
Listen, the only other person I know that is sponsored by New Balance is not an athlete at all. It's Jack Harlow. And I will say that Jack Harlow's a fantastic rapper. I love Jack Harlow. He has more right to be a New Balance sponsored person than Kawhi Leonard does. Because I've never seen, hey bro, we getting them basketball kicks today. What you think about buying? I'm probably going to go with the New Balance 7s. Never heard that in my life. So,
if you go back and rewatch that commercial at the beginning of the year, Kawhi had a king crown dangling from his keychain when he got into his in his 1948 horse carriage that he calls a car. This is Kawhi Town now. The Battle of L.A. I'm not going to join you, LeBron. I'm going to beat you.
Yeah, because I'm the king now.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm not even going to get the chance to beat you because Nikola Jokic beat me in a series. A 7-foot-tall human ketchup bottle is going to beat us.
Literally looks like he just got out of high school.
Yeah.
He looks like an overgrown ogre who just got out of high school.
So I'm done.
He put you on a poster, you bum.
Yeah. So I'm done giving the Clippers attention because they're bums. They're the stepchild of the Los Angeles Lakers. They're never going to win ever again. They're never going to do anything.
That's what I think about the whole situation.
So right back to Doc, the only guy in the Clippers organization that has my respect.
And they decide to fire him.
him.
Now the whole Clippers organization has nothing but my disrespect.
Yeah. So now, Nathan, you look at Doc Rivers. He's in Philly. He is he's with a very promising team. You got Ben Simmons, you got Joel Embiid. So you got your two core players.
Who knows? Maybe trust the process was right after all.
You got Al Horford, a great veteran player. You got Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris actually had the best season of his career under Doc Rivers, averaged 20 points and 7 rebounds.
Yes.
This year he only averaged about 14 points. So you got Doc Rivers back with the Doc system coming to Philly. Nathan, what's your expectations now with Brooklyn in the East, Milwaukee in the East, especially if Giannis stays? They're going to be a contender in the East, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
You got Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Toronto, Miami, fresh off the finals appearance next year. Where do you see Philly getting in standings-wise with Doc Rivers as their new coach?
I don't know. I see Philly going far. I see Philly obviously going farther than what they have because if we look at it 2 years ago when the Toronto Raptors made their run, didn't they beat Philly in the Eastern Conference?
When Kawhi Leonard hit the luckiest shot in NBA Finals history, that's not clutch.
And then he says, we've just practiced for those shots.
Yeah.
I don't know any player who runs behind the backboard to shoot and then says, I'm going to practice that shot.
Yeah, then it bounces off the front rim 4 times.
It rolls. Kawhi drops down. You can see the poop coming out of him. His eyes widen. He's worried about whether it's going to go in or not. Some way, by pure stroke of luck, Kawhi goes, that went in? Yeah, I've been practicing for that shot. Honestly.
And for the first time in his life, I heard him scream. I didn't know he knew how to do that.
I didn't know he knew how to have emotion.
Yeah.
He did scream. He did throw his fist. And then, speaking of emotion, where we got a great meme of Joel Embiid bawling his eyes out.
Hey, don't hate on Embiid.
I'm not hating on Embiid for crying.
That shows the love for the game.
I used to cry during sports games too. When I was like 5. I will say that my Little League rep games were different than the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, so I can't hate on him for loving the game. But he does go, trust the process. Every year after they lose, what do they do next year? Lose, trust the process. But who knows? Maybe the process was losing 6 times in a row just to get Doc Rivers by spur luck.
This is my thing about my Philly expectations. I'm making a hot take.
Oh,
Philly's coming out of the East.
to the finals.
To the finals. They're beating Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games.
And playing who?
Playing the Lakers, and they're going to get beat by the Lakers. LeBron's going to get his 5th ring.
In 4.
No, in 6. So that's my hot take. And here's why.
Well, let me get another hot take real quick. Do you think that we will still have the NBA standards when it comes to Corona next season?
Yes,
I
think they'll
be in the bubble again.
I think they'll be in the bubble again, but I don't think that they'll have a full season because obviously the players are not going to want to be away from their families for that long. They're going to have a shortened regular season, have a normalized playoff setting, and so just an overall shortened season.
Yeah.
But so
just
yeah,
like Kawhi's season.
Yeah,
Shortened.
yeah, bum. So and here's why. Here's why I got Philly coming out of the East. Here's why I got Philly losing to the Lakers in 6 games in the finals. The main question surrounding Joel Embiid is his passion, his love, and his character, really. His shape. That's the biggest thing questioning him. He oftentimes you see him just barely trotting up the floor because he's out of shape. He's very injury prone. Doc Rivers is a great motivator.
Yes.
Doc Rivers is one of the best motivators in the NBA. He's a great lighting a fire under your skin like no other coach. So that's why. Because I love Joel Embiid, and I think his ceiling is being the best player in the league one day. I think Joel Embiid can be the best big man in the league.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about Doc Rivers too, the 76ers. I will say I am happy for Doc because I think that the 76ers will appreciate him and value him like the Clippers didn't.
100%.
Because the 76ers know that they have been in a rebuilding stage for a long time, and everyone thought that the 76ers would be very close to getting to the finals with all their players that they had, and they were 2 years ago, but then the Raptors had their insane run. So I think that I'm glad to see Doc Rivers going to the Sixers and actually getting the respect he deserves. And this was exactly what I was thinking, that Doc Rivers goes to the 76ers. Let me see if it'll play here. It's a soundbite from the NBA.
It's about damn time.
I feel the same exact way. So yeah, anyone who doesn't know that was from LeBron when he finally won his first ring, and he said it's about time, So
it is about time. It's about time Doc Rivers gets the respect he deserves.
Okay, so let's switch topics. Time to get into the debate topic, the last topic of the day. And that debate topic, Nathan, I told you before what the topic was going to be, but we never
really discussed it.
We never discussed it because I wanted our reactions to be live in full effect. The NBA all-time starting five. So theoretically speaking, we are the general managers of our own team. We get
unlimited cap space.
Every player, unlimited cap space. Every player in NBA history is in their primes.
Okay.
We assemble a starting five, and we play each other one game for all the marbles, and you're trying to win a game against me.
If me and you are playing games against each other, we obviously can't have the same players on each team.
No.
So you'll pick one, and then I'll pick one, and then go back and forth.
Oh, no.
Because it's not like we can both have Michael Jordan on our
team. No. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can, because every
No. I think we shouldn't.
Every major debate show does this, and they have MJ on the same team, LeBron on the same team, but it's usually one or two players where.
Well, knowing you, we're probably going to have the same exact players except
I can 100% guarantee you we will not have the same team.
Okay.
I can 100%
You
guarantee you.
Point guard.
All right.
Right. I'll say it first because I know it's going to be the same. Magic Johnson.
No.
Who's your point guard?
Here's why. I'm just going to name off my whole entire starting five, and then you can name off yours.
Jason Kidd.
I got Steph Curry at my point guard.
Okay.
I got Michael Jordan at my 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got LeBron James at my 3. I got Tim Duncan at my 4. And I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at my 5.
Okay.
Now,
you want to know what I could do to beat your team?
What's that?
I could say the exact same thing, and then at the end, instead of Kareem, I would put Hakeem, and I would win.
Okay, but are you going to have Magic Johnson at your point guard?
No, I'm saying I could take
okay. Yeah. You're saying you could, but give me your team.
Okay. So, I would put Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay, so you have Magic and Hakeem, and I have Steph and Kareem. That's the only two differences. I have Steph and Kareem, and you have Magic and Kareem.
Yeah, and what you're going to say is Steph could shoot, Kareem would be down low, Magic can't shoot like Steph can. I get that.
Nope, that's not my argument. You lost because of this. Magic Johnson and LeBron James play the same position. Whether you want to say LeBron's a small forward or not, LeBron's a point guard at heart. You got Magic Johnson and LeBron both.
But we've already discussed that LeBron James doesn't care about what position he's at.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a team player.
Oh yeah, you're 100%. But LeBron James is at his best with the ball in his hand, making decisions, making plays for his teammates. So what are you going to do with Magic? Put him in the corner and let him shoot?
Drive and kick.
To who?
No, drive and kick.
Drive and kick to what 3-point shooter? You don't have any 3-point shooters on your team. Michael Jordan can shoot, but he's not a 3-point shooter.
Take one step inside the 3-point and shoot from anywhere.
Okay, but with Michael Jordan guarding him? Michael Jordan guarding Jordan?
See, that's why we shouldn't have the same.
No. I'm telling you, man. Every debate show does this.
We're not every debate show.
Oh yeah.
We're on second thought.
Yeah. Okay. This is my thing. You got 2 playmakers on your team. That's bound to have trouble. You got 2 huge egos as a playmaker on your team with LeBron and Magic Johnson. So that's a problem. I got Steph Curry standing at half court, ready to shoot it from anywhere.
All right, like I said.
And I got LeBron playmaking.
I get what you're saying. The guaranteed way to win for me to win, if you say it first, I just didn't want to choose every single player.
Yeah.
The guaranteed way for me to win if you tell me your team first, is to choose exactly who you chose, but swap Kareem for Hakeem.
Here's my argument against that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
has the most unstoppable skyhook shot.
He has the most points. He has the most unstoppable shot in NBA history. Hakeem is very skilled. Very skilled. Kareem is slightly less skilled, but with a very unstoppable shot. So I think that's going to be a very good matchup. I think they'll each give. I think Hakeem with the star-studded team that you have would give you 18 points, 12 rebounds, and a few assists. I think Kareem would give me about the same. So I think it'd be a fairly even matchup down there with Hakeem and Kareem.
Every other player would be the same, so we can assume that they would average the same stats.
But I think the deciding factor for me would be Steph Curry and Magic Johnson.
I said that you would probably win that round.
Oh, okay.
I said if I wanted to have a guaranteed win, I would choose Steph Curry and everyone else be the same, but only swap Kareem with Hakeem.
See, I disagree with you because I think Kareem is the best center of all time. I think he's the third best overall player ever. I think Hakeem is a very good center. I think he's the third best center ever.
When did Kareem enter the league?
I think he's entered sometime in the 70s.
Okay, and we know that Hakeem came later.
Right? Yeah. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that Kareem got drafted in the late 70s.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it right here. Let's see. So we know that he retired in '89.
Oh, so maybe he came in the early 70s.
69, I think it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, sounds about right.
He was selected as a player of the year in 1967 NCAA, 1969 by the sort. Let's see. No, 1970, right? Because he was in the 1969 NBA draft. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And Hakeem was in the same draft as Jordan. Hakeem was the number 1 overall pick. What year was that?
84.
84. So that's 15 years later. 15 years later. So like I've said always, skill progresses over and over throughout the league. How many seasons do you know off the top of your head that Kareem played? It was like 20.
Right at 20.
Right at 20. So he only had 5 good years left by the time that Hakeem gets there.
But Kareem was on the same level as LeBron when it comes to longevity. LeBron and Kareem are the two.
Yeah. They were very good.
Two most durable superstars ever.
Okay. Do you want to know why Kareem was consistently so good? Is because he was so much bigger than everyone, and his skill was so overpowering towards every other player at that time. Because I think we can both agree, because I know we talked about it on multiple topics, I think we can both agree the average player gets better every single year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at average players now, they're obviously so much better than average players back in 1970. Okay? So you go 15 whole years later, the average NBA is automatically better than the average NBA in Kareem's time. Okay?
Oh, I agree with you. I
so
100% agree with you.
Hakeem is shining in his average NBA, which is better than Kareem's average NBA.
That doesn't mean that Hakeem's better than Kareem as just one-on-one player. It doesn't mean that.
I know, but if you take a 6 foot tall 8th grader and put him with 3 feet tall 4th graders, the 8th grader's going to shine. That's Kareem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a 6-time champion, 5-time MVP.
I agree. Yeah.
Most points ever. Mm-hmm. One of them up there in rebounds, up there in blocks.
Because he was very skilled. He was very, very skilled. The players that he was playing around were not anywhere in close to his skill.
This is my thing. This is another hot take from me. The GOAT conversation should be between 3 people, not 2. The GOAT conversation should have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it. It should not just be LeBron and Jordan. It should be LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kareem. Because Kareem was that good.
I know, but you have to look at when they played. Why is the GOAT conversation not between 4 people? LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, and Bill Russell. Bill Russell won 11 rings out of 13 championships.
Because skill has to go along with it.
Because you want to know why people don't put Bill Russell in their GOAT? Because he played with bums. Straight bums. Like, it was too early of a league to actually be considered everyone was good in the NBA. You get what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely. But my thing about it is, you watch Kareem play, and no matter what his competition was, his skill was unlike anything we've ever seen before. On a pedestal.
At that time, because he played with bums.
Nope. Kareem's skill, durability is on a level with LeBron James.
Dude, you put Kareem in this league today, you think he's shining?
I put Kareem in this league today, and I think he's the best center of all times, just like he is right now.
You're crazy.
120%. He's given Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns. He's given them the work.
You're crazy.
He's given them the work. 100%.
The defensive tactics, and everyone's going to be like, oh, defense was so much better back then. No, defense was tougher back then.
Yeah, it wasn't better.
There's a difference between tough and better.
I agree with you.
Defensive tactics today are so much better.
I agree with you.
I think Kareem would get locked up today.
I think Kareem would average even more. I think Kareem would. Yeah, because it's a more spacious game today. There's more great perimeter players. It'd be 1-on-1 in the post with him and Embiid, him and Towns, him and AD. AD would put up with him because AD is generational talent. But it would be 1-on-1. There's more great players on the perimeter. There wouldn't be as many players helping whoever is guarding Kareem down low. So I think Kareem would shine even more. I think Kareem would dominate even more. I think he dang near might slide into the GOAT conversation even more. But
maybe. I guess we're just going to have to disagree on that.
So, real quick, let's make our Super Bowl prediction before we head out of here. I got the Chiefs and the Packers in the Super Bowl.
I got to agree.
I got that bad man, Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe we might see a slide come up in the Bucks.
No, absolutely not. I got that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, winning his second ring over Patrick Mahomes.
No.
And
I got Pat.
I got Aaron Rodgers, and he's gonna.
But yeah, I think I agree with you there that the Packers and the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
But that's gonna do it for the second episode. Thank you all for tuning in.
And before we go, just one thing to let everyone remember. Before we go, always remember Kawhi Leonard is a bum, a straight bum. No respect.
No respect whatsoever. But thank you all for tuning in. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, give us a like. Thank you all for the great turnout for the first episode. And on second thought, we're out.